Welcome again to the series that I call Drones for Dummies. This one's going to be tips and tricks for the Chubory A68 brushless drone. I didn't really want to call this tips and tricks, but as it turns out, there are some things that this drone will do that you may or may not find a reason for them, but they are built into it nonetheless. Again, this is a class called Tips and Tricks, and if we move into the tablet, I'm using a tablet to do my stuff because it's a whole lot bigger to see. When you first turn it on, it's going to look like this, and just to give you an idea, here it is right here. Now, on this tablet, over here on the, neither one of them shows them really good, but I'm going to go to the computer to show you these so that I can show you on a brighter screen. Down here on the lower left, you barely see an icon simply because the tablet doesn't show it. This icon is your auto launch icon from the tablet. You really, I would say, don't want to use that just due to the fact that you want your controls to be handled by the remote that was shown in the other videos. Everything on here has to do with the tablet. So I would say for best results, I will show you. If you come over here to the tablet, go to the lower right icon, and that will turn all that off. In essence, you will notice on the tablet on the right side, the second one down has been grayed out. That grayed out, if you take a look on this screen, shows you 30%. That 30% is the speed control that you get when the tablet is usable. I say don't use it. Just use the camera and the video. Now, on this particular setup, you'll see this guy right here. What that means is to rotate the screen. Due to the fact that this screen is more or less set up for panoramic viewing, it won't let you do that. And just to show you that it won't let you do that, we're going to select it. Zoom and back. It won't let you do that. And again, we're going to turn this off. You do have several other things to do. They are on another menu. And to get to that other menu, what you do is go to the top right corner of the four squares and click on it. All of a sudden, you have several more icons. Just to give you a better understanding of those icons, they are like this. On those icons, as I said, this is a better picture of them. This is your auto launch. That's typically what it will look like. If you hit that button with this thing being active, and again I say don't, but if you hit that thing with this being active, it will make the drone take off. There is another video I have called Navigation that'll tell you all about that. Over here is your controller on and off. That is what that actually means. It turns the controller on and off. The controller being these two guys here, which we're not using. The one in the middle, the red button, I explained one time on the navigation about pushing the button that says stop. It's the lower right button on the remote. What it does is it makes the copter stop and land right there, wherever it's at. This will do that same thing. But then again, as I said before, we're not using that, so I wouldn't even worry about it. The thing is, and I've been watching more videos on this, up here they have one called the VR mode. That VR mode means virtual reality. You get a set of virtual reality glasses. You put your phone in those glasses to where that's the only thing you see. And it's almost like you're the pilot on the drone. So with your left hand, if you know what's going, it's like flying a helicopter more or less. You don't look down to see where your hands are. You're only looking ahead to see where you're going. And your hands, by proxy of your brain and lots of training, automatically knows how to turn left, how to turn right, how to go up and down. Your hands will be trained on how to do that. So your eyes can focus more on what you're doing. That is the VR mode. The glasses, the special glasses, this guy here will go to a split screen, and I can show you that. In this one, you will notice I'm going to turn it back on temporarily. There's your two buttons. I'm going to go up here to the VR mode and click on it. All of a sudden, you have two different of the same screen because you have a sunset on the right side of both of them. That's because left eye and right eye. When you do that in VR mode, your mind will put those two together. Now, I watched a video on the VR mode, and there was a guy using his, and he was going so fast on it, he almost made me airsick just watching him. If you get really fast and talented about it, you can do that. The thing is, you can't tell the wind speed outside. You can't see anything behind you. To me, there's so much you can't, that until you really learn how to operate it, I would say you don't. So we're going to turn this VR off, get it back to a normal screen, and then if you take a look on here, what you have on your right side, I'm going to show it on here because a good bit of them will disappear. On the top, going from left to right, you have the gesture mode. I showed you in cameras and videos what the gesture mode is about, and we're not going to fool with the gesture mode because this is about tips and tricks. Gesture mode is really not one of them. A quickie of the gesture mode is if you put up a peace sign or a palm sign, the drone, if it's within 3 feet of you and sees that, it'll take a picture. If the person on the other end knows about that, you can get pictures on spots where basically if you have somebody watching the tablet like they should be, they could take the same picture. That's why I say I wouldn't even go there. The next one you have is the zoom screen. That right there, I showed you on the cameras and videos screen how that works. So we're not going to go into that one. The next one is flight path. Now the flight path is where you could end up helping me. The flight path, just to give you a good shot about it, we're going to go to flight path. What you do is you draw a pattern that you want the drone to fly once it's in the air, and it'll fly that pattern. So we're going to fly, well, I don't know why, but it's not doing it now. Generally, you make a line on the screen. Let me see if it's okay. And there goes your drone. We're going to do that again by doing this right here. And your drone again will follow that pattern. I don't have a clue to what that is even good for, but maybe you can find one and then leave it in the comments so it can be spread around to others. This next one, we've done the gesture, zoom, and flight pattern and the VR mode. The next one is going to be what they call flip screen. Quite literally, when I took the drone out the other day, My partner accidentally hit flip screen and was unaware of it, and we thought we had done some major damage. Truth is, no. What happened was, if you take a look at the screen really close, we're going to go to REV, or flip screen. Your screen just flipped over. I have no idea what that's for, and I'm not even going to play with an idea of what that might be for. So we're going to take him, turn him back to normal. The next screen over is referred to as the motion sensing piloting, or motion sensitive piloting. What that means is if you take your phone or tablet and lay it flat on the table and then pitch the tablet to the left, right, forward, or backward, the drone will fly that direction. Further known as, if you take your drone and you go like this, the drone will go forward. Go like this, it'll go backward. Pitch the device and the drone will go that direction. As far as I'm concerned, just use the joysticks. But if we turn that on, it automatically drops that one down, apparently to tell you that you have the controls, because the ones that it controls is the ones on the right. The forward, the backward, the left, and the right. It basically turned that joystick off on here. Again, we're not using the joystick. So what we're going to do is turn that off and then go down here and turn this off. Now, all that stuff, oh, we got one more to do. Actually, we got two more to do. This one here, which is the next to this one right here, is calibration. I don't necessarily recommend using calibration on the tablet. The calibration, when it's on the floor or wherever it's at, the remote has a button on it that is the calibration button. And this button looks like a gyroscope on the button. What it does is it calibrates the drone being straight up and down. Checks out the level plane. It has a computer program in it that takes a look at two different levels to make sure that it's level, forward, backward, sideways. That way, if you hit the auto launch button on the drone, it'll go up 3 feet and stay there. If it doesn't stay there, that means it's out of calibration or there's wind. One of the two. Chances are, if you know not to fly it in the wind or you know how to counteract the wind, that won't be a big deal. But if it's dead air, then that means if it starts shifting left or right, that means the drone is pitched and being blown that direction just by the fact of it being flown at all. And the way to fix that is to set it back on the ground, push and hold that calibration for a couple of seconds, and the drone will start flashing. Once it figures out where it's at, it'll stop flashing. Calibration is done. That way you can fly it more correctly. There is a fine-tuning on how to fix that even more, but all that is on the navigation video. Please watch that one for more information. Then there's the headless mode. The headless mode is a world all its own. It's hard to explain here because this isn't exactly a tips and tricks. It's just getting it to where you can control it better. That's all it is. Over here you have the speed mode. To show you on here about the speed mode, I'm going to click on that button. It says 30% right now. I clicked on it. Now it says 60%. I'm going to click on it again. It says 100%. What that's talking about, the drone has a natural speed at which it flies. If you're inside, put it on 30%. That way, when you push it to go all the way forward, all as fast as possible, it's not going to go as fast as it can, so that it doesn't end up on the other side of the room too fast due to the fact there's no wind to repel it. 60%, for those who are a little bit more talented, it'll go twice as fast as 30%. The 100%, which is right there, that is when you want to fly it outside, because every once in a while you could want to counteract some wind. I was out at a lake one time. I put the thing into auto launch, and there was the wind, and it started blowing it away, and I counteracted the wind by having it go in the reverse direction at 100%. It literally stopped the drone right where it was at, and I was able to land it and pick it up. That is what that speed is about, how fast the drone can fly. So, just to reiterate, going over things, you have the auto launch, which is on the lower left. Right here, you have the controller on and off. It allows you to do, it will black out things it doesn't want you to do as far as flying the drone whenever that is off, or it'll give you drone control, and you're not really wanting that. The landscape portrait, this drone can't do that, so if you press it, it can't do anything. It'll jump right back. Video is how to start a video, push that button, or do the motion. The video, to turn it off, just simply click the button, and it's in my camera and videos video that has to do with all this here, that has to do with that very same thing. Take a picture by right here. Again, I recommend, as far as taking the picture, that the person on the tablet be the one to take the picture, so you would be the one, whoever's operating this, to do the picture. Speed control, the bringing up of this top menu by this button. Headless button, which is a weird world. It flips your controls is what it does, so that when over here on your left and right, they suddenly become left and right. Your forward and backward suddenly become forward and backward. And the reason why they do that is if your drone is turned around and facing you, those guys are backward, and the way to put them back where they belong, you hit that headless mode, and it'll reverse the joystick, so that if you're looking at it and you want it to go to your right, you can flip the joystick to right and it'll go right. If you have it in the regular mode and it's coming towards you and you flip it right, it's going to go left because it's thinking it's going the other direction. The calibration is how to get the drone to be able to go straight up or left or right the way you want it to. If it doesn't, it needs recalibrated, and that's what that's for. The motion sensitive piloting is when you take the unit, the tablet, and you tilt it left, tilt it right, tilt it forward, tilt it backward to have the controls of the drone. As far as that part goes, you won't have to use the joystick. If I'm right. Motion sensitive. Yeah, on the motion sensitive, if you turn it on, like I said, the right joystick will go down to the bottom, indicating it's dead and that you have control of it because of motion sensitivity. So we're going to turn him back off. The REV, as I was saying before, flips the picture. I don't know why. If you're taking a live shot, it would flip that live shot, and you would be thinking you need to rip your camera off. No, you just need to go like this. This is the VR mode where you watch it through the glasses and do your piloting as if you were actually on the unit. And this right here, which is the flight path, I don't know why, but this mouse won't do it, but I showed you with my finger, you draw an N and it'll do an N pattern. That's what that is about. So we're going to turn that off. The other stuff has to do with the cameras and videos on this, which I've already done a video on. So I would advise you to watch that video. I would advise you to watch all the videos before you actually hit the air with the helo, because you can have a lot of fun once you've learned how to do everything. This is a training on the Chubory A68 brushless drone. The first thing to do is to take the drone up to the auto launch position and then try turning it completely around, doing the right turn and left turn off the left joystick. Then practice taking camera shots and videos of the same way. This is nothing more than training. You can always erase it. And make sure you watch for your timing of your flashing lights on the drone, because just to reiterate on them, when your drone first comes on, it starts flashing because it's looking for the controller. When it goes steady, like it's showing in this picture, that means it's ready to be in flight. If you have to recalibrate, if you have your drone in the headless mode, the light will flash twice, out, flash twice, out. That's telling you it's in the headless mode. All you have to do is bump the headless button and it'll stop that from flashing. The biggest thing about that is the fact that sometimes you will accidentally bump that button when you're trying to do the other button, and you just need to recognize by looking at the drone, it's not doing a steady flash, it's doing a flash and pause, and that means your headless mode is on. These are all the tips and tricks that I could think of, so all I can say is do what you can and have fun.